So apparently this is how we're starting this vlog. No one's home right now, so I figured I'd do it while it's quiet. Please excuse the fact that I look like a hobo because I don't care. Alright, so I am 36 weeks, what's today? Thursday? In 2 days pregnant. I'm starting this vlog early because I don't know. I could go into labor before and be induced. I could be induced earlier than we think. There's some stuff going on. Just to summarize quickly, I have gestational diabetes and I have hyperthyroidism, which is an overactive thyroid. It only occurs when I'm pregnant for whatever reason. The gestational diabetes is it's high risk, especially because of baby's weight. Typically with that, they'll induce at 39 weeks, which was the plan until I developed hyperthyroidism for this pregnancy, because I had it with Charlie too. Now with the hyperthyroidism, I'm having tachycardia. I'm on medication and it's kind of helped that a little. However, it causes baby to have tachycardia. There's been 3 instances this pregnancy where we've noticed this heart rate go up into like the 190s, which is, it's not good. So because of that, we're going to induce at 38 weeks. However, like I'm on metformin twice a day for the gestational diabetes. Now, my blood sugars after I eat have always been fine as long as I'm not eating anything crazy high carb or with a lot of sugar. So those numbers have been easy to control. However, my fasting numbers are all over the place. They want you to be under 95. Fasting is like when you wake up in the morning, basically. They want it to be under 95. Since we upped my dosage of metformin, some days it's under 95. And then I woke up today and it was like 111. And those numbers are just really hard to control. Now, I emailed my dietitian to let her know so she could let the high-risk doctor know that I'm still having those issues with my fasting numbers. Because they could do one of 2 things. They could start insulin. However, I'm 36 weeks, 2 days. We're inducing at 38 weeks already. And sometimes insulin can take a while to like tweak the right dosage and find what works. Or they may move my induction to 37 weeks, which is in like 4 days. So I don't know. Or my water could break now and I could go into labor. I'm already 3 centimeters and 60% effaced. I have lost, and I'm sorry for the TMI, pieces of my mucus plug, which doesn't really mean a whole lot because that can regenerate. But regardless, I've had Braxton Hicks. My lower back's been hurting the last couple days. So my body's working to get there. It's still a little early, so we're trying to keep him in there. But like I said, I don't know if they're going to want to try the insulin at this point, or if it's just like, because I'm so close to being induced anyways, if they'll just move it up a week. So a lot is in the air. I am currently doing a little laundry of his things because I haven't washed his stuff yet. So all that's in the washer. My hospital bag is packed. Alex needs to pack his. And I need to pack a bag for the baby, which won't contain much because the hospital provides a ton. So I'm really anxious, especially with like all the COVID stuff going on. That kind of makes me a little anxious. And then I don't know. But I wanted to start this vlog now because, like I said, I don't know when it'll happen. So, yeah. I don't know what the next clip will be. So we'll see. Okay, so I figured since no one was home, I would update real quick. I am 37 weeks, 2 days. I went to my appointment and an ultrasound Tuesday. He's measuring like 8 pounds. Whew. And then I went to my regular checkup yesterday and we did a non-stress test. And while I was on the machine, I was having contractions every 3 minutes. Like they were very consistent. So they sent me home for a couple hours and then had me come back to check to see if my cervix had progressed. And it had very slightly, but not enough for anything. Because like I mentioned before, I was 3 centimeters and 60% effaced. Now I'm like a 3-4, like kind of in between, but I'm still about 60% effaced. So nothing much has changed there. Right now the plan is to go in Monday morning. Today's Thursday. To be induced. I did lose what I'm pretty sure was my bloody show this morning. I know that's gross. But it was a big chunk of mucus and it had blood in it. But nothing's happened. I've had very mild contractions today, nothing consistent. So he could come before Monday, or we're just gonna go in Monday morning and get this started. So yeah, that is my update. Hi. It is the day before I'm going in to be induced, so it's Sunday evening. It's like 8 o'clock. The kids are gone. AJ and Jen went to Tia's, and Charlie went with Grammy. I don't know why, but I'm like super nervous. I mean, labor's always nerve-wracking just in general, but I got his little bassinet in here now. His diaper pail is in here. Diapers, like, we're ready. I'm just nervous. But yeah, I probably won't sleep very well today. I slept on and off today. Or tonight, I won't sleep well, I mean. But yeah, the next time I do a clip will probably be on the way there. Okay, so it is like 10 till 10 in the morning. I've been here since like 8. It was a rough start. We were late and whatever. And I haven't got a chance to vlog because the nurses have been in here and a couple doctors have been in here just doing the normal stuff, asking questions. It took forever to get an IV in because I'm a hard stick. A really hard stick. It took 4 tries. So now we are waiting for them to put in the orders to start Pitocin, which is when the real fun starts. Alex ran home to grab his wallet because he forgot it and to eat something, and then he will be back. So yeah, my hair's looking great. Got some ice chips because I'm hella thirsty. So yeah, let's see how this goes. We just started Pitocin. That little bitty bag right there. That's the other one's antibiotics. Oh god. Here comes the fun part. Alright, it's been a minute. It is almost 6 p.m. Last cervical check I was like 4 or 5 centimeters. So not a ton of progress, but we're about to do an epidural and then my doctor is going to break my water, which should really progress things. Alex went to go get something to eat before all that. I'm starving. I got 1 pain medication in my IV, like they gave me morphine. It didn't do anything, but other than that, I haven't had anything. So this epidural will be nice. But yeah, just waiting. Okay, so I hope you guys can hear me because it's like 3 in the morning, so I'm trying not to be loud and wake there's like noise behind me. I don't even know what that is. So, I wanted to film this now before I go home tomorrow because with the kids around and a newborn, filming anything is going to be near impossible. Let's talk about the rest of my labor and delivery. Making sure that no one's coming in because I'm talking to myself. I will have to go back and look. I should have before I start filming this. What the last thing I filmed was. I want to say it was around 6 p.m. I don't think I had gotten my epidural yet. So let's just talk about that. I think the last clip I talked about how my doctor was going to come in and do or break my water. So she told the nurse that she wanted me to get my epidural beforehand, if I wanted one, which I did. Up until that point, my contractions all day had been very, 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 very consistent. And there was a nice pattern to them. But I think I'd only dilated to like maybe 6 centimeters at this point. And they were painful. I had gotten 1 dose of morphine, which did nothing. And then beyond that, before my epidural, that was all I had. So I was going through the pain. It was tolerable, like it was okay. But I knew once they broke my water, it would be more intense and more painful. So the anesthesiologist came to do my epidural. He did it and like was trying to dose me to make sure I was numb enough, and initially I wasn't feeling much. That only lasted like 10 minutes maybe, and then slowly I started to feel the contractions again, and they were painful, and I was like, this is weird. And at that point my doctor had got there to try to break my water, and I told her, I'm like, hey, like I'm still kind of in pain. And then when they were doing the cervical check, it was painful. As they were trying to break my water, it was painful, and they were having trouble breaking it. So she's like, you know what, let's get your epidural fixed, or you know, get you some more pain medicine or whatever before we break your water. So she left the room, and then it became more and more and more painful, like way more painful than I had been feeling them before I even got the epidural. I'm not sure why, because they hadn't broke my water yet. They just tried. But then it had started to wrap around to my back. My contractions did. And I was literally crying. I don't ever cry from physical pain. I get angry, I cuss, but I don't cry. And I was crying. It hurt so bad. And this is my 4th baby. Granted, I got epidurals with all of them, but I felt contractions. Especially with Charlie, I got my epidural pretty last minute. I thought someone was coming in. Anyways, so they called the anesthesiologist back in, and basically what had happened is the epidural didn't go into like the right layer of tissue or something. So like after I had gotten the initial dose, it like slipped out of where it was supposed to be. So I was getting nothing. I went from getting numb to like bam, like nothing. So the pain was more intense. So he redid my epidural, and it worked that time. It worked. I don't remember what time all of this was happening, by the way. For the most part, I don't remember. So they got the epidural, it worked. The doctor came back in, broke my water. But the baby was still, Henry was still high up. He was like -2. So they wanted him to get lower into my pelvis. Now, at this point, they brought in a peanut ball and like laid me on my side to try to get him to move down into my pelvis. I didn't even think about how that would affect my epidural, and I don't think they really thought about it either, because you have to lay flat with an epidural so it works evenly. Keep that in mind. So we tried the peanut ball, but they come in, they're like, hey, I was on my right side. They had me on my right side with the peanut ball between my legs. And they came in and they were like, hey, his heart rate keeps dipping, so we're gonna switch it to your left side. And the same thing was happening. And at that point, like, I had the monitors on, but because I was laying on my side, it wasn't picking up contractions. So when they got me back on my back, his heart was dipping during contractions, which sometimes happens. But because we had laid me on my side, the epidural, like, started to wear off pretty quick again. And this was around, I got my second epidural between like 9 and 10, I think. But they laid me on my back, and I wasn't feeling contractions like in my abdomen. I was feeling them in like the very bottom of my pelvis, like in my vagina. And at that point, they were getting painful again. And they had checked me and I was like an 8, I think, after they had broke my water. So we were getting there. I might have been 8 before we started the peanut ball. I don't remember. But then, like, I was having those contractions and I was feeling them, and they were painful. And they're like, okay, just let us know when you feel like you need to poop, basically. And if you know, you know. So it was like 10 till 11-ish. And I was like, these not only hurt, but oh, someone's waking up to eat. Oop. I'll finish this when he's done. He stopped stirring, so let me finish this real quick before he actually wakes up. Okay, so it was like 10 till 11, and the contractions were painful, and I was feeling pressure. And I kind of laid there and like breathed through them for a few, and like it was so painful that I was only doing like 1-word sentences, because Alex was like, hey, do you want me to vlog this? And I was like, no, just fuck you, I'm done. I didn't say that, but when I'm in pain like that, oh, he's waking up. Anyway, so I called my nurse and had her come in, and I was like, listen, like, I'm feeling the pressure. So the doctor came back in and checked, and I was like 9.5. So she like did this thing where like during contraction, she would kind of like pull in the cervix, pull in the cervix to help finish the process. And at that point they're like, okay, like you're ready to push. So they quickly switch out like the bed to get the stirrups up and like call in baby nurse, and like it all happened very, very quickly. They're like, okay, on your next contraction, push. And like it was so painful, I was like, I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to do this. Like with my other babies, all of them, I think, like once I had got the epidural and it was time to push, like I could feel pressure, but I didn't really feel the pain of it. This time I could. So it took about 3 contractions or so, 2 contractions, but it was like 3 pushes for him to come out. But like after like the first big push, I got really nauseous, and I was like, I can't do this. Like I don't have the energy, I'm exhausted, I can't do this. I was crying, and they were like, you can do it, you can do it. And like they were all very encouraging. Alex was, the doctor was, they were all super great. And then he was out, and I didn't expect to get so emotional. Like I didn't have tears, but like they were like welling up. But, like the amount of emotion I felt, because like when you're in that much pain and you feel like you cannot go anymore, you feel like you can't do it, you're exhausted. It was like 15 hours of labor. And then he was out, and like that sense of relief and, you know, meeting your baby, there's no feeling to describe that. Like you can't unless you've done it. It's super hard to describe. But yeah, I didn't need a repair. Yeah, no stitches or anything. He weighed 8 pounds, 4 ounces, and was 21 inches long. And he's been doing great. they checked his blood sugar because with gestational diabetes, when baby is born, a lot of times their blood sugar is low. But his has been great. Mine are back to normal. I'm sure there's parts of the story that I missed, but like those are the gist. It's, like I said, it's after 3 in the morning. We're going home this morning. They're only, they're allowing us to go home because of like COVID and after 24 hours instead of 48. And it's not my first kid, so breastfeeding's going pretty well so far. He is the first baby. Like EJ, I was 20 when I had him, so I was young and naive. I kind of tried to breastfeed, but like not really. I gave up and quit pretty quick, like in the hospital. But so far it's going pretty good, I think. He's had wet diapers, he's had poopy diapers already, like several. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this like breastfeeding journey goes. I'm excited to go home. I miss my babies and they're super excited to meet baby brother. And I'm excited to be home in my own bed. And I'm hungry all the time, like ever since the second I had him. Like I've been starving. He's stirring just a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna let him wake up a little more and feed him. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the gist of the story. I don't know, like I know Alex filmed some stuff, which I don't know if I'll insert. I probably would have already put that in the video. Maybe I'll film the kids' reactions to put at the end of this. That would be kind of a cool way to end it. But yeah.